the favorite songs that we have, the favorite movies that we have, the hit shows that we hear about, the Oscars we've seen being given out, the Grammys that we've seen being given out, all of those songs, all of those ideas, all of those projects initially existed within somebody's body and mind, and it was not a tangible thing yet. But it wasn't until that they took action towards it and brought it to the surface that it became what it is. So if that can happen to somebody else, why can't it happen to you too? The ideas that you have, if you are given an idea, that's usually God-given, and you have the ability to take action and make it a reality. And when you do, and the more that you do that, the more that you are collaborating with the greater creator and creating these wonderful things, you realize just how much gold is within you. And you are a walking gold mine.
It's me, Kiva Geiger, mindset coach, life coach. I'm excited because I have a really special guest, actually a family member of mine. I'm going to go ahead and just let her introduce herself. This is Christy.
Hi, my name is Christy Kyoko. I'm a singer, songwriter, journalist, and entrepreneur.
Christy, how are you?
I'm really good.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on and coming over to, you drove all the way from Linwood just to come chat with me. And I'm really excited about this because, you and I have been working together, throughout the years and stuff on so many different projects.
Yeah.
And, it's such an honor to just, support you and on your endeavors. You've done a lot of amazing things.
Thank you.
You have a great resume.
Thank you.
And you're constantly conquering the world. So this conversation to me is really important. It's really excited to share with others. And I know it'll inspire other people that are, looking to up-level their life and experience the experiences that they're worthy of.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
You're amazing. You're great at what you do.
Well, I appreciate it.
I'm really happy to be here and be able to share my experience.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I thought it'd be really good to start because I know recently you just got back from Kenya.
Yes.
You took some time off. Mm-hmm. You left America. You went abroad. Took a 20-hour flight. It's not a light flight at all. And you were in Kenya for how long?
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
Was it great?
It was more than great. It was everything that I expected and even more.
Yeah. I got to see. I was following your journey the whole time, and you and I got to chat a bunch as well too. But I thought it'd be great to just, talk about some of the things that showed up for you that, we had conversations about that were really impactful. I know that, every conversation we had was always great, but, I really wanted to shine some light on just, some perspectives that really, hit home for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I know that there was a couple of them, but what was the one with that really just stuck out to you the most?
Honestly, it was just this entire mindset shift that I had. Adapting to a completely new culture, environment, climate was just everything that I needed at that time because I was in desperate need of change, and I wanted to challenge myself a bit to be able to do some of the things that I've always wanted to do in an environment where everything is new. So anything could go.
Yeah,
makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. I think sometimes we think, changing your environment would change us, but there's still a core of us that comes along the way. But what was really interesting in our conversations is, how you stayed core to who you were, and you were willing to persevere to learn really great lessons about yourself.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. But yeah, the whole mindset shift was a big thing. Taking yourself out of distractions and out of your normal environment is actually a really great way for you to have creative freedom, is what I found. And I channeled that creative freedom in different aspects, through content creation, through music, through writing, and I unlocked a whole new version of myself that I didn't know was within me. And it was wonderful. It attracted a lot of things too.
Yeah. A lot of things you wanted and didn't want, correct?
Yes, but more so things that I wanted.
Yeah. That's really good because I think, what really stuck out to me is your power manifesting is very strong. And you're aware of it, and you're also aware of the things that come along with it. And it's really interesting to meet someone that believes so much in the work that they do, and then they just persevere and they work through it. And so being able to watch you build businesses, being able to watch you go through a different experience and still have the right mindset in a completely different environment. And Kenya is, you know, in business and anything else, kind of like the Wild West. You know, it is like you have to be on your toes, because it's not like, you know, when you do business out here. And I know that was like you had some bit of challenges out there, but you really navigated them very confidently.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Kenya, it's like majority of the country is full of entrepreneurs. Everyone is building their businesses while maybe they have also a job on the side, but you know, you have to be able to provide a solid income, and a lot of people turn to their own forms of businesses, and it's easier to run a business out there now. Because so many people are running businesses, sometimes there's the lack of sufficiency, like I guess there's lack of flow that we're used to here in the States. We're used to, like, when you go to a business and you want a service done, they have their own process for things. But sometimes when you're in a place like Kenya, you find yourself collaborating to build that process, even though you're the customer.
Yeah. And what was really cool is watching you take authority in a lot of these things. I know that's something that you've learned to be really accustomed to now. So what was that like for you? Because I know you know, we talked about that before. It's like claiming your authority and your worthiness around the things that you wanted. And I know you had some projects you were working on, and you had to really step into this higher version of yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, actually, and I do remember calling you at some point because I was like, Kiva, I need help. Help me navigate this, because like I said, you kind of have to advocate for yourself a lot more. Even though you're the one that is wanting something done, you have to make sure it gets done. You have to push for it to get done. And I also think that being a woman has something to do with it as well, because a lot of the people I was working with were men, and when I needed something done by a certain deadline, I had to push with authority, and sometimes as a woman that can throw somebody off if they're not used to it. And so but at the same time, it's like, if I don't do that, then my vision suffers and what I want won't happen. And so for me, like, I've always kind of been a people pleaser, and like have been very comfortable with like letting people go at their own pace, even if it has a lot to do with me and my success. But I had to step out of that when I was in Kenya, and I had to advocate, and I had to push for things to get done so that they were done in the right time. And I also think like learning different ways of communicating effectively was another lesson learned, and I'm really glad that it happened, because now I know. And I feel like if you can do that in a place where you're not accustomed to that, like, you can do that anywhere, and you'll only get better with time. So it was a interesting experience. It definitely helped me grow. It helped me elevate, and it made me take myself more seriously, because I should not be willing or comfortable with sacrificing a result, or like a desired result, just because of the comfort of somebody else. You can't do that. Not when you're an artist and this is like your first impression to the world. You can't. Exactly. So I had to come out and bring more authority to my work, and step out in confidence, and still maintain a kind heart, but make it be known that I take this seriously, and so should you.
You came in like the boss that you are.
Yeah, it's different when you're with art, like music, or like anything of the sort that you're creating with your own hands and with your own mind. It's not like fashion, because like with fashion, you can kind of you have that authority that's kind of already given to you. Like, people know that the fashion world is very cutthroat, so they wouldn't be surprised if you're also cutthroat. But like with art and something a little bit more sensitive, such as music, like, a lot of people don't really expect you to also have to have that boss business mentality with it. So that was kind of the difference for me, transitioning from being in fashion to music.
Wow, that's such a huge transition. What would you say would be the biggest impact that you had when you were there? Like, what conversation really stuck out to you?
With other people?
Mm-hmm.
Letting people know that you don't have to stay in one niche or limit yourself to one category when it comes to the type of art or music you want to create. I think a lot of people kept asking me, okay, so like what kind of music do you make, you know? And for me, like I was completely starting over as an artist, and I was still trying to find what is my genre that I feel the most comfortable. But the thing with me is I love all sorts of genres, and my EP, I wanted it to be versatile with different genres. So I had classical, I had jazz, I had Afrobeats, I had acoustic, like,
wow.
And to a lot of people that was surprising. Like when I first was creating it and trying to find a producer, I was telling people, yeah, I want to make like a Afrobeats Christmas song, and they're like, huh? What? And yeah, like, and so when I did that, I was showing people that, yeah, like you don't have to limit yourself to one type of genre just because it has to do with a certain topic. And the same could go for any other thing that you want to do. If you're a speaker, if you're a content creator, like you're trying to find a niche, like if you're just a multifaceted person, you should honor every single aspect of that and show it. No,
I agree with you. I think your ability to understand yourself and realize that you're not going to be contained into some box, like you just have to be you. You know, and I think that was what was really sticking out in our conversations. It's like, how do we extract you 100% into everything that you pour yourself into? And then people meet you at the level of your expectations and really seeing yourself as that person. And the end result was you dropped some music during the holidays, some bangers, by the way. So, you know, and not on top of that, you also, I don't know if you really talked about it too much, but I mean, you did the music, right? You were in the recording studio, you recorded all of that. You even had music videos. Like, what else?
The whole content rollout.
Yeah. Where does that inspiration stuff come from? Like, where do you get that confidence from?
Oh gosh, if you're gonna do something well, you got to do it with excellence. Like, even if it's your first time, do it with excellence. Give it all you got, because you should not sell yourself short any less than that. But where I got that from was definitely growing up and watching Beyonce. Like, I was a big Beyonce fan. All of her like old music and how she would roll out with like music videos, teasers. There's even like lyric videos. I almost did lyric videos, but I ran out of time.
Yeah.
So I will be doing them this year.
Yeah.
But like I was just like, I love the rollout of things with new albums, like how other artists, like Sabrina Carpenter, like how she comes out with, when she was doing her short and sweet album, like she did a bunch of different things like media related, and she like made a whole aesthetic of like kind of like that 1950s like baby doll look, and she was very consistent with that. And like she did music videos and she did visuals, and like there were visualizers. I just love that. Like that's the fun part. Being in the studio is hard for me, at least, because like I'm a perfectionist. So like if I don't get it right, I'm gonna keep on doing it and keep on doing it till I get it right. And sometimes I can be in the studio for hours, like 12 hours. I can. But like once that's all done and like it sounds great and it's mixed and everything, like the art of like the visuals is like the best part. I love bringing visuals together and like bringing those to life, because it's where like you really get to shine. That's where people get to see your personality. Yeah. And I wanted, even though it was like a Christmas album or EP, like I didn't want it to be like so cliche. I wanted it to still like show the type of person I am, my personality. I wanted it to be happy. I wanted it to be, well, I'm in Kenya, it's hot, it's like summertime there. So like, you know, like an African Christmas, an African summer Christmas related ordeal. Like it was just so, it was great. I loved it. It was so fun.
And it was awesome to see your actual vision, like the way you described it, to like fruition. And it came with this tenacity of wanting something that was bigger than you.
Yes.
And I remember we talked about that, of just like your self-worth, of no longer challenging yourself there anymore and actually stepping forward into what's available for you.
Yeah.
You know, kind of going back, what do you think you struggled with that, like, what were the struggles initially internally when we were talking? Because I think that was kind of where we had some really good breakthroughs.
Yeah. Struggles. What did I write down here? Because we took notes every single call we had.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of good things I took, but I think I struggled with asking myself the right questions.
Tell me more.
So like last year, well, not last year, the year before that, so 2023, when I was building the style series, you and the challenges that I was facing at that time, you kept helping me figure out the solution by asking me the right questions and then having me ask other people the right questions as well. And so when it came to this, I didn't ask myself the right questions at first that helped me realize and kind of like open my eyes to what I really wanted. And so there's a question that you asked me, you literally asked me, what do you want? And it wasn't until like I wrote all of them down that I was able to create affirmations and then turn those affirmations into actions. I think the biggest challenge that people, and myself mainly, face is like when there's a gap between something, like what is it that you're missing? And you need to be able to be very clear about what it is that you're missing. And you can't be clear about what you're missing without asking yourself the right questions to determine what it is. So like my challenges were kind of just believing that like maybe it wasn't the right time, or wasn't like I didn't have it all together, I didn't know the right people. Again, I was in like, I can't say it's a foreign country, but like I would go to Kenya every now and then, but still it's a foreign country. Like it was still a very new place for me. And I didn't have the network to do what I wanted or get what I wanted. And so I had to see past that and kind of figure out like, how can I get what I want? And and then just taking action toward that. And the other challenge I faced was a lot later, right before the EP came out, when I was struggling to get like the masters of my songs. And you were asking me like, okay, well, why? Like, why don't you have the masters? And I'm just like, I don't know why I don't have the masters. And you're like, well, what do you have to do to make sure that you get them? Like, why is it important that you get them?
Yeah. And
you reminded me that this is, yes, it's bigger than you. You need to treat it and look at it from a different perspective. That has nothing to do with your emotions. It's about that, like, actual result and actual thing. You need to make it about that, not about how you feel. So go get your masters. And I got up and I went and got them. But yeah, again, it's just like asking yourself the right questions to overcome your challenges.
Yeah, that to me I knew was available for you, because you were willing to do the thing. And I think a lot of times it's like we'll have a hard time with this internal dialogue about what we should do. We're feeling stuck and like hopeless, and I wanted to help you see like you are limitless and you're not helpless and you're not the victim, because this version of you that has this big vision of, you know, the EP, the visuals, the people you decided to work with, they were all there to help build it. And so you have to almost command what you want in this life. You know, I think that's the biggest blessing, is realizing like who you are. And you saw who you were, and you took the actions based off of a person that receives these things without limitation.
Yeah.
And I remember that text you sent me, you're like, I got him. Like it was not, like it was just like, and I felt the confidence in that text, because I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You showed up the way you were supposed to show up. You showed up as yourself, not as the victim, not as, oh no, this person is taking this and I don't know what to do. Like, you knew exactly what to do. You did the most uncomfortable thing, but the most uncomfortable thing was for a short period of time to get the end result of what you wanted.
Yeah.
And then the best part about it is your vision actually got to bless a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's it's bigger than you, and it's also you.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're incredible. You're great at what you do.
You're incredible. You did the work, and that's what I always want to put on. It's like, if you're willing to do the work, the results will always show.
Yeah, I definitely suffered from internal dialogue. I think that's what I was struggling to remember. Yeah, the internal dialogue was crazy, especially me being an overthinker. So you have to learn when to just quiet all of that and be like, okay, let's get it together.
Yes.
Like, put it all aside. What do we need to do first? Like, how do we get to our end result, and how do we get what we want out of this? And yeah, it's like showing up as yourself, and it's also commanding it too, because you deserve nothing less than that.
Exactly.
And
you said it yourself.
Yeah. And if you let it slide like that, then your art suffers, your work suffers, your time suffers, everything suffers.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm really proud of you, and I think, like, one thing I wanted to, kind of cap on was, if somebody is thinking about like investing in themselves, because you took a chance of investing in yourself, right? And you've seen some of the work that I've done, and but what was it that like brought, because it's like, the conversations, like, when you commit to yourself, others will commit to you,
right?
Like, what made you want to commit to doing the work with me? What was that thing that made you feel like this is right, we should do this?
That's a good question. I wanted to do it because I do not accept failure as an option. And sometimes when you're working alone and when you are the one that's believing in yourself the most, it can be really easy to fall back or like not commit to your own dreams and desires. And you need someone to be there to hold you accountable and help you push, and even when you don't feel like it. And that's why I decided to work with you, because I knew that, yes, I could do this on my own, but there would be days where like I would really struggle to like want to go after it. And when that happens, I would call you and you would remind me of the things that I had told you, and like the fact that it's bigger than me. And there's so many good things that you've shared, and like even just beyond like the EP or anything, but you made me realize just the value that I have within myself and how it impacts others. There was a time that you told me, based on the history of things I've shared with you and some of my experiences in my career, you said the one thing you've noticed is that I give life to others. And before that, I never thought of that. I thought people were just like coming into my life, taking advantage of me, using me, and then like whatever. But you made me look at it from such a different perspective. Like when you cross paths with people, Christy, you give them life in different capacities, and the ripple effect of that is so insane. And it just, I don't know, like learning that about myself like really opened my eyes to how much I can do, and how much of a blessing it is to be able to be a light to others, and like to be able to give life, even if sometimes it doesn't give you, like, you don't feel great, like you may feel like you were taken advantage of, but at the same time you're seeing that you're a blessing, and then that makes you, going forward, value yourself so much more and know that you have so much more to give and so much to give to others, and you should also give that to yourself. And you also helped me believe that I can, you helped me believe that I'm able to repurpose myself all the time in any industry I want to be in. And so I knew, like, going to Kenya, yes, I'd be gone for 6 months and all of that, and I didn't have to keep communication with a lot of people, but with you, I felt like I needed to do that as a great way of self-care, and also to have someone that's there with me and to help keep me accountable for the things that I said I wanted. And you helped me do that.
You're welcome. And I really enjoyed the work that we did, because you put your trust in me. And it's, I think what I wanted to teach you and really show you was that this isn't just a conversation, right?
Yeah.
This is all about you. This is all about your purpose and what you wanted to bring out into the world. And I really thought a lot about that, because we have conversations all the time with people, and people give us advice all the time, but can they give us guidance? Mm-hmm. And I invested in that myself, and it taught me so much about the way that I think, and being able to teach others how to have this in their life is so important. So like you're saying, it's like now you're versatile. Like you can go and do anything.
Yeah.
And not feel any level of limitation other than what you tell yourself.
Exactly.
And so, like, what would you want to share, I guess, to say to the world, you know, in the sense of they're thinking about, you know, taking the next step in their journey, or taking a chance on themselves, because you seem to be very comfortable doing that now.
What I will say is that the favorite songs that we have, the favorite movies that we have, the hit shows that we hear about, the Oscars we've seen being given out, the Grammys that we've seen being given out, all of those songs, all of those ideas, all of those projects initially existed within somebody's body and mind, and it was not a tangible thing yet. But it wasn't until that they took action towards it and brought it to the surface that it became what it is. So if that can happen to somebody else, why can't it happen to you too? The ideas that you have, if you are given an idea, that's usually God-given, and you have the ability to take action and make it a reality. And when you do, and the more that you do that, the more that you are collaborating with the greater creator and creating these wonderful things, you realize just how much gold is within you, and you are a walking gold mine. And so, like, just remember that when you're looking at somebody and you're seeing them win, don't think that that can't be you, because it's just like they brought it out of them, it's also within you to bring it out, and you can also be the writer, creator of the next big thing.
Powerful. That's very powerful words. Well, I want to say thank you just for, you know, coming all this way and taking the time just to talk about this and really share, you know, your experience in the work that we've done, but also just like where you're focused and where you're going. What is next for you? What do you have planned that you're willing to share? Because you're always cooking up something.
I'm always cooking up stuff. You'll never know what's next.
Yeah.
Honestly, just continuing to bet on myself and putting myself out there unapologetically, knowing that I have what it takes, I have it in me, and be looking forward to more music, more projects, more fashion stories, more storytelling, just like everything. More life.
And then how do people like follow you? Where do they go? Is it Instagram? Like what's the best place to keep an eye on what you got coming?
So Christy Kyoko on all platforms. That's it. Pretty simple.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much again. And
thank you.
Thank you for everyone that's watching. I really appreciate you for taking the time of just learning more about yourself and the internal work to grow yourself as a person individually. And my goal is to not only impact you, but the way that you think about yourself and the actions that you take.